What's up, everyone? It's Sojourner for Truth coming back to you with another video. Make sure y'all hit that thumbs up, share, like, and comment on this video. So I've been telling y'all that I was going to be doing a video about the CBP1 app. CBP is the Customs Protective Border. That's what it means. And then I'm gonna go into an article, but let's get right into it because this is exposing what's really going on in our United States of America. Were they illegals for real? Or did they use the CBP1 app? Let's go.
Chairman, Ms. Nobles, thank you again for being here. Thank all the witnesses. Thank you for your poignant testimony. I think of Steve Ronnebeck, whose son Grant was murdered as he worked at a convenience store in Mesa, Arizona, by an illegal alien. Or Marianne Mendoza, whose son Brandon, as a police officer, was killed by an illegal alien in Mesa, Arizona. Our heart goes out to you, Mrs. Nobles. I'm stunned that a witness would say we need to find equilibrium at a time when 6 million plus people have illegally entered the country in the last 2 years. Stunned. I'm stunned to know that of 32,000 people, 21,000 of them were released into the country over a 72 to 96 hour period. I'm stunned because we don't have control of our border. The CBP Chief Ortiz has testified that the cartels control our border, as has Sector Chief Modlin of the Tucson sector, as has Sector Chief Chavez of the Rio Grande Valley sector. I'll go to you, Chief Scott. Has Secretary Mayorkas taken the actions necessary and appropriate to achieve and maintain operational control of the borders?
Absolutely not, sir. If you listen to the words he states every time, it's about creating safe pathways. When I was chief, we were not allowed to even discuss consequences or actually securing the border. It was all about expediting the processing and avoiding the optics of people backed up into Border Patrol stations.
We've heard today about new parole processes being implemented. Last year, over 300,000 people received parole. This year, it'll be over 750,000. Prior to the Biden administration, typically you might see 15 to 20, maybe 20, as high as 25 parole processes. That's because that's an individual process. Even Secretary Mayorkas has testified before this committee that it's an individual process. What has he done to distort the parole process, Chief Scott?
I honestly do not understand how they can look at the law and do what they're currently doing with the parole process. By law, every one of those approvals is supposed to be a case-by-case basis. It's supposed to be based on humanitarian reason or a benefit to the United States government. In my entire time in the Border Patrol, I probably approved, and I'm estimating about 6 or 8 paroles a year at the most, and those were usually to benefit a case or because of some type of a medical condition. But there were tight restrictions put on every one of those. It's probably a packet about 1 inch thick about keeping track of the individual, because the concept of parole is you're allowing someone into the United States that we know does not have a legal right to be here. They haven't proven it. So we're accepting risk on behalf of all of America. That's a heavy burden. We all took that very seriously. I do not believe the Border Patrol can be doing today the legal assessment required for each individual case. It's just not possible.
Chief Scott, DHS officials, and I'm quoting now from a New York Times piece, say thousands of migrants are successfully using CBP1 instead of paying smugglers, close quote. Are we to believe that CBP1 is an alternative to cartel smuggling, or are we actually using CBP1 to facilitate cartel smuggling?
There's CBP1 app is from my understanding, is basically a queuing mechanism like we used to do at ports of entry with a pen and paper on the south side. Anything that happens on the south side of that border is definitely controlled or influenced heavily by the cartel. Anything we can do to get them out of the system would be fine, but I think the piece that we're missing here too is we're now taking away from the legal trade and travel processes of the CBP officers at those ports of entry. They were all gainfully employed prior. And the CBP1 app is pushing more and more people into that port of entry that don't have, by definition, do not have a legal right to be here. The other challenge is it's a magnet. Because to use the CBP1 app, again, from my understanding, you have to be in Mexico, you have to be up close to the border. So that entices even more people into that border community, and the throughput does not match the demand. And where does that overage go? Right back to the cartels.
Thank you. My time's expired.
Okay, so you heard that they're paroled into the United States. Now, I pulled up the actual CBP1 app. website. So this is it here, the U.S. Customs and Border Protection. That is what CBP1 mobile application, that's what it means. So this is as of September 23rd, 2024. The migrants with a CB1 app appointment in Brownsville and Metamoris will be processed at the B&M Bridge, which we just heard you got to be close to the Mexican border. So this is promoting people to get closer to the border. So I'm going to skip down a little bit. It says there are no other changes to CBP operations in Brownsville area. And then it's in Spanish, of course, because we're trying to get Guatemalans and Ecuadorians and Mexicans and all these foreign people to come to our country, because that's what it looks like. We want them to come here. For what reason? Maybe voter, interference. I don't know. But okay, on August 23rd, 2024, CBP updated the process for individuals to request and schedule appointments at one of the 8 Southwest land ports of entry that currently process individuals using the CBP1 mobile application. The location from where individuals can request appointment will be expanded. It says currently individuals can request an appointment from northern and central Mexico. Migrants who cross Mexico's southern border can now wait in southern Mexico to secure an appointment before traveling to the north. So as of Friday, August 23rd, 2024, non-Mexican migrants are able to request and schedule appointments from the southern Mexican states of Tabasco and Chiapas, which I just did a story on that showing how in that Mexican border of Chiapas, the soldiers just unalived 6 migrants out of 10 because they did not want to stop at the border. I guess they was like, oh, well, we got this CBP appointment. We don't have to stop. We don't have to abide. I don't know. It's just crazy that this is the border where they got killed at, where they got unalived at. Sorry. In addition to their ability to request the schedule of the appointment from the northern and central Mexico, enable them to make appointments without having to travel all the way north to do so. So these is the areas and stuff like that. Yeah. So then it says, what is the mobile CBP1 mobile applications? And so it says on October 28th, 2020, which that was way after President Trump, had got out of office, so he didn't have the CBP1 app like Tim Walz tried to say in the debate. He was a liar because that's what they are. They're liars. The app came into flourishing or into act is the Apple app and the Google Play stores. It says the app serves as a single portal to a variety of CBP services. Through a series of guided questions, the app directs each type of user. And you can go on YouTube and see the actual YouTube channel. It shows how to use the app and everything step by step. I was going to show that video, but I don't want to make this too long because my other videos are going to be long. Okay, it said, what should migrants expect when they arrive at the port? So it's telling them all this stuff. Frequently asked questions. CBP strongly encourages non-citizens without prior authorization to the United States to use the CBP1 mobile app to request appointments to present themselves at the land port of entry. The number of non-citizens who can be processed through the app will vary by port based on available resources and existing infrastructure. Appointments are available 21 days in advance. Ports may operationally feasible utilize dedicated lanes, types of travel documents, and those without travel documents. Ports may also have dedicated lanes for those with appointments. So it said, how does the CBP determine how to process the individuals? Upon arriving at the POE, the officers inspect and then evaluate individuals to determine the appropriate processing disposition. The CBP does not adjudicate asylum claims. Individuals issued notice to appear, place removal proceedings will have the opportunity to seek relief, including asylum and other protection before an immigration judge. And it says, if I am issued notice to appear and paroled into the United States, which we just heard of, the paroling into the United States, am I eligible to apply for an employment authorization document, which is an EAD? It said you may be eligible to apply for the employment authorization document if you have been issued a notice to appear and parole into the United States. If you have not already started the EAD process, you can begin by creating an account with this form and everything like that. So it says, are individuals able to claim asylum at the port entry? It says they do not adjudicate that at the port. The individual's process expedited removal proceedings, express a fear of persecution or torture or a fear of return to their country, who indicate an intention to apply for asylum are referred to the U.S. Citizen and Immigration Service for a credible fear interview. Okay, so it has some other stuff, resources, fact check, and some other things. So I wanted to go here into this. Migrants in Mexico have used the CBP-1 app 64 million times to request entry into U.S. That was February 12, 2024. These are the average daily migrant apprehensions, which it says ending February 4th. So, you see all of these right here and some other stuff right there. What I wanted to go into was this. Migrants in Mexico have made more than 64.3 million requests to enter the U.S. using smartphone that the Biden administration tried to establish as the main gateway to the American asylum system at the southern border. Internal federal government documents obtained by CBS News show. In the first year of the program implementation, migrants used the phone app known as the CBP-1 tens of millions of times to apply for a coveted appointment to be processed by U.S. immigration authorities at the official border crossing, according to internal documents. So far, nearly 450,000 migrants have been allowed into the U.S. under this process, the documents show. The documents covers a 13-month period between January 2023, when the Biden administration started allowing migrants to request appointments using the CBP-1, and February 8th, 2024. On average, migrants have made just under 5 million appointments requests per month. So how are they even vetting all these people if they're getting so many? Like, come on now. They just letting people in, which we see with the influx of crimes in our different counties and states. The number of requests does not represent unique individuals, since the total includes repeated attempts by the same people. Nonetheless, the figure illustrates the extraordinary high demand among migrants to come to the U.S. and the desperation that leads many to try again and again to secure a chance to enter the country. And one former U.S. immigration official, Teresa, says a staggering number. She was working with the administration with President Bush and Obama. There's a lot of people who would love to migrate to the United States. In essence, they see the CBP-1 as a sort of self-petitioning mechanism that we've never had before. That's why we have such an influx of migrants. So are there illegal immigrants? Who the heck knows? You know what I'm saying? Because we got this CBP-1 app. So these immigrants and migrants that's coming over here, they're like, no, we're not illegal. We have applied through the CBP-1 app, and we have been granted to come over here. We're looking at it from, on the outside looking in. We don't know what's going on. We just see all these people keep coming over here, storming the borders and things like that. But no, they have been granted to come over here, apparently. The Biden administration have sought to use the CBP-1 system to encourage migrants to refrain from crossing the border illegally. Oh, again, open season. Get on the app and you can just come over here freely, without any, issues in between ports of entry. Unlike those who enter the country unlawfully, migrants who secure a CBP-1 appointment can apply for a work permit after being released from the U.S. custody and do not have to satisfy the stricter asylum conditions of a Biden administration regulation. So they're bypassing all of the red tape to get over here. That rule presumes migrants are ineligible for asylum if they enter the U.S. unlawfully after failing to seek refuge in a third country like Mexico on their way to American soil. As of February 8th, U.S. officials at ports of entry along the southern border have allowed 4,480 1,701 migrants with CBP-1 appointments to enter the country, giving them notices to appeal in immigration court to plead their cases according to the internal government documents. While migrants come to the port of entry with a CBP-1 appointment, undergo national security and public safety checks, they are not screened for asylum. Instead, they are processed under the Humanitarian Parole Authority, which allows them to work, and given a notice to appear in immigration where they can later ask for asylum. Those cases typically take years to be decided. The top origin countries of those allowed into the U.S. under this program, the documents show, are Venezuelan, which we know we don't want them in our country. We see who them people is. I'm just saying. It is what it is. Mexico, Haiti, Cuba, Honduras, Russia, El Salvador, Colombia, Chile, and Guatemala. To be honest, I don't want none of y'all in here. If y'all can't come the legal way and y'all not getting vetted like that, I don't agree. But who am I? Again, I'm just a citizen of the United States. The CBP-1 process is available in English, Spanish, Haitian, Creole, Portuguese, and Russian, and open to migrants from any country who are physically in central or northern Mexico. A geofencing feature is supposed to block anyone south of Mexico City from using the app. Interesting. Every morning, the U.S. government distributes 1,450 new CBP-1 appointments. Most of them are allocated randomly, while 30% of them are offered to migrants who have been waiting in Mexico the longest. Those who fail to get an appointment have to try again the next day. Wow, y'all just make it easy. A senior U.S. Customs and Border Protection official said the number of CBP-1 appointment requests is high, but not unreasonably high. Yeah, right. That's a lie. Migrants are often making a new request each day until they get an appointment. Yeah, because they're already coming in. According to the U.S. official who requested anonymity, I can't never say that word, to discuss the process. If somebody requests for 5 weeks straight before they get an appointment, that individual is showing up 35 times in that number, the senior CBP official told CBS News. So I guess they're very, very persistent. While the agency increased the daily number of CBP-1 spots several times last year, the official said there are no current plans to do so again. The official noted that together with dozens of humanitarian exemptions to the CBP-1 requirement, the U.S. is processing more than 1,500 migrants each day at the ports of entry, 4 times the pre-pandemic limit. So it's quadruple. Mixed results with the CBP-1. The CBP-1 system is one of several programs that Biden administration and Kamala Harris has established to give migrants a legal and orderly way to come to the U.S. The same way like Kamala Harris, we have to find a pathway for citizenship. And, this is part of the plan, seems like it. Alongside an initiative that allows Americans to sponsor and those sponsor the entry of up to 30,000 Cubans, Haitians, Nicaraguans, and Venezuelans each month. Those processes have been paired with a rule that restricts asylum eligibility and expands deportation. While the administration credited this carrot and stick strategy for a 2-year low in illegal border crossings in June 2023, migrant crossings in between borders of entry later spiked, reaching 250,000 in December, a record high. The impact of the CBP-1 process has also varied widely by nationality. Illegal border crossings by Cubans and Haitians, 2 of the top nationalities using CBP-1, have remained very low compared to 2022 and 2021. On the other hand, tens of thousands of migrants from Central America, Venezuela, have continued to cross into the U.S. unlawfully each month, bypassing the CBP-1 system. The senior CBP official attributed to disparate impact to the large diaspora communities to help migrants from Cuba and Haiti and provide them information about U.S. border policies. And then it continues on. They're trying to have some order and stuff like this. And I mean, it just goes on and on. But pretty much, yeah. The CBP one is like a pathway to citizenship or a pathway to come to America. So it says U.S. freezes humanitarian parole, which we just heard of. That's what is the CBP app is about, the Humanitarian Parole Program for Venezuelans, Haitians, Cubans, and amid fraud allegations. The department, and this was August 2nd, 2024, travel authorizations for the program out of abundance of caution. So it says the Biden administration temporarily halted the humanitarian parole program that allowed tens of thousands of migrants from 4 nations to enter the United States, which was more than 4 nations because we just read that, following an internal report revealing multiple instances of fraud. Of course it is, because these people are trying to come into our country to do all types of things. The Department of Homeland Security confirmed to Fox News the suspension of the advanced travel authorizations, which permits 30,000 nationals which from the countries which I have said. It says congressional source told the outlet that the pause began mid-July after the discovery of substantial fraud in the application submitted by the sponsors. Duh. It says DHS clarified that the reviews focus on sponsor filings rather than the beneficiaries' applications. Initially launched the Venezuelans in 2022, the program was expanded in January 2023 to include Haitians, Nicaraguans, and Cubans. It allowed migrants with U.S. sponsors who pass biometric and biographical vetting to receive work permits and a 2-year authorization to live in the U.S. So this is the program that the Haitians are on in Charleroi, in Alabama, and in Springfield, Ohio, because they have a 2-year temporary protective program, which we know the TBS, temporary protective program, TBD, whatever that acronym is, y'all. So many acronyms out here. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The program does not cover travel expenses which migrants must bear themselves. That's a lie, because we know that the Haitians were being flown over in airplanes. So this is a lie. Latin times. I guess they don't know the whole story. We know, for those that are not in their slumber, we stick to the facts. Customs and Border Protection stopped issuing travel authorizations to Venezuelans on July 6th and the other nationalities on July 18th after an internal report revealed widespread of fraud information in the sponsor application. So security numbers, addresses, phone numbers were frequently reused, with some numbers appearing on hundreds of forms. Wonder whose information those was, and wonder who these U.S. sponsors was. But again, I digress, because I'm not going to go into this rant today. Prospective sponsors are required to pass security checks and demonstrate financial capability to support the migrants they sponsor. DJ stressed that beneficiaries of the program are thoroughly vetted before arrival in the United States. Well, that's a doggone lie. Because if they were vetted, how in the world did you keep vetting the same people with different addresses, wrong phone numbers, and stuff like that? Y'all did not vet good enough. But again, I'm going to digress. With separate layers of screening for travel authorization and sponsor vetting. It says they reported October 2023, approximately 1.6 million applicants were waiting for approval to travel to the U.S. under the parole program. A lawsuit challenging the program was dismissed earlier this year, but the Republican states involved have indicated plans to appeal. I know that's right. In addition to this program, the administration employs the CBP One app to allow 1,450 migrants to enter the U.S. daily through a port of entry. Recently introduced parole in place for spouses of illegal immigrants. Mayorkas, can't stand him, defended the program as a safe and orderly way for migrants to reach the United States, noting its success in reducing the number of migrants from the specified nationalities and its potential as a model for addressing irregular migration globally. This is my thing. Why are we granting 1,450 migrants to enter into our United States legally every day? And we already have 20 million illegal migrants and immigrants over here. I don't understand that. Y'all comment below. Make sure that y'all like this video, thumbs up. If y'all got any value from this video, consider subscribing to the channel. Like I said, I'm back on fire, y'all. I found an easier way to do my videos and to give y'all the facts without having my videos to be taken down, because it's a lot when you do videos and then they're taken down. So I figured out the way to get around that. I love y'all so much. Let's continue to pray for one another. Let's continue to keep God first and most high. Let's pray for our people, our patriots, our citizens that will be coming in contact with these criminals, these illegal immigrants, these illegal migrants. Let's continue to pray for safety, a hedge of protection over our country. And let's continue to pray for those that have been affected by the hurricane, which another one seems like is coming. Let's pray that it will curve another way. Let's pray against these demonic forces, these evil forces that are trying to destroy our country. I love y'all so much. Until next time, this is Sojourning for Truth.